Dear, beautiful soul, you were guided here for a reason. The angels are whispering to you right now. Can you feel it? This is your sign. Subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss their guidance. Your soul knows this is where you belong. If this message touched you, leave a comment below. Tell the angels what your heart is feeling today. Your words are prayers, and they're always heard. For those feeling called to support this channel of light, super thanks are a beautiful way to keep these messages flowing. Every blessing you send returns to you multiplied. Now, relax, open your heart, and let the angels speak. You've been waiting for this moment longer than you even realize. Every tear, every doubt, every silent prayer, it was all leading you here. Your soulmate is finally seeing you, not just with their eyes, but with their soul. They're recognizing the light you've carried, even when you thought no one noticed. This isn't just love. It's a divine reunion written in the stars before time began. You've always felt them, haven't you? Even in the loneliest nights, there was a whisper, a presence, a knowing. That was never just your imagination. The universe has been conspiring to bring you together in the most perfect way. Right now, their heart is opening in ways they may not even understand yet. They're feeling the pull, the magnetic force of your connection. No matter how long it took, no matter how many detours life forced upon you, this was always meant to be. You weren't lost. You were being prepared. Every heartbreak, every lesson, every moment of growth was shaping you for this love. And now, the veil is lifting. They're starting to see the truth, the real you, beyond masks, beyond fears, beyond past mistakes. They're seeing the soul that has loved them across lifetimes. This is the moment where everything changes. Can you feel it? The energy shifting, the walls crumbling, the divine timing aligning. You've been patient. You've been faithful. Now love is answering you, and not just love as emotion, but love as a revelation. They're realizing this connection is more than romance. It's more than attraction. It's remembrance. Remembrance of something holy, something heaven approved, something eternity knew long before this life began. And it's arriving now. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but because the time is right. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. You grew into it. And so did they. Everything that felt like delay was divine preparation. You were becoming the version of yourself that could truly receive this love. Not just long for it, not just dream of it, but hold it, nurture it, honor it, and now, so are they. They're waking up to what their soul always knew, that you are not just someone special. You are sacred, a reflection of the divine, an answer to prayers they didn't know how to form, a mirror to their highest self. They may not know what to say yet. They may not know what to do with all the emotions rising like tides within them, but their spirit is speaking. It's moving. It's stirring because they've seen you. And once the soul sees, it never unsees. It carries that vision forever. That's who you are to them. A forever presence. Love that outlives form, outlasts fear, and overrides every false belief they once held. You always knew this wasn't ordinary. That's why it hurt so deeply, because something deep was always at stake. But now you're no longer walking alone. Their spirit has joined you, even if their words haven't caught up. Their energy has. They are choosing you in the realm where all true choices begin, the soul. And the soul is louder than silence, stronger than distance, more faithful than fear. They're stepping toward you now, maybe slowly, maybe uncertainly, but intentionally, because they've seen what life is like without you, and it's colorless. You bring color, you bring warmth, you bring meaning, you bring truth, and the truth is what they crave now. No more illusions, no more emotional hiding, no more spiritual hesitation. This love is sacred, and sacred things cannot be rushed, but they can be received. And that's what's happening. They are receiving you now, bit by bit, heartbeat by heartbeat, and heaven is watching, smiling, because this union is aligned not with fantasy, but with prophecy. You were always written in each other's story. The parts just hadn't been read yet, but the pages are turning now. And this page, this moment, it's the one where love begins not as a hope, but as a home. They feel you in their quiet, in the way your presence calms storms they never learned to name. You are their peace, not because you fix them, but because you remind them they were never broken. That's why you've always felt like healing, even in the tension, even in the waiting. You've always carried medicine in your soul, and now they're ready to receive it, because now they've finally seen that you are the one their spirit has long whispered about in dreams they couldn't remember. You are the answer to the ache they thought they'd just have to learn to live with. You are not too late. You are right on time, and so are they. Ezekiel 12:28 says, "None of my words will be delayed any longer. Whatever I say will be fulfilled." And this love, it is a word God spoke long ago, long before pain, long before confusion, and now it is being fulfilled, not in haste, but in holiness. You are being answered. Your prayers are being honored. Your waiting was never wasted, because the soul that sees you now sees everything, and they're choosing you, not the version they imagined, but the version that is. And you're ready to be chosen because you've already chosen yourself. If this echoed in your spirit, type, "Love is answering me now" in the comments. They don't even realize it yet, but their soul has already made the choice. A choice to return, a choice to soften, a choice to remember. And even though their mind may still question, their spirit is already running ahead, straight toward you. Because something ancient has awakened, something too deep for logic, too strong for denial, too divine for delay. They are no longer the same. The moment they truly saw you, not just your face, but your light, everything shifted. Their breath caught, their heart paused, and their soul whispered, "There you are." Do you feel it? That soft unraveling in the atmosphere, that quiet breaking open, that subtle but undeniable pull toward truth. It's real. You're not imagining it. The angels are orchestrating this union with care, with grace, with perfect timing. Even the parts that felt like silence were never empty. They were sacred pauses, divine inhales before a holy exhale. And now, the exhale is here. The moment where everything starts to breathe again, including them. They're breathing in your love now. Maybe for the first time, with awareness. Not just brushing against it, but receiving it. Not just admiring you, but allowing you in. The barriers that once felt so strong, gone. melted by the warmth of love that doesn't demand, but invites, love that doesn't pressure, but waits, love that doesn't scream, but echoes in the silence until it becomes impossible to ignore. And now, it's impossible to ignore. You are in their thoughts when they wake, in their dreams when they sleep, in the moments they're finally learning to be still. You're there. Like a prayer they didn't realize they'd been saying, like a truth they're just now remembering. How to speak, and it's changing them, the way they move, the way they feel, the way they listen. They are becoming who they were always meant to be, the version of themselves that can love you well, not out of fear, not out of fantasy, but out of faith. Because love like this asks for belief. It asks for surrender. It asks, will you trust what your spirit sees even when your mind can't make sense of it? And their answer is becoming yes, not rushed, not shouted, but whispered from the center of their being. Yes to the connection, to the history, to the future. Yes to you. And with that, yes, heaven rejoices, because nothing delights the divine. More than two souls finding their way back to what was always promised. You see, this wasn't a maybe, this was a prophecy, and now that prophecy is unfolding line by sacred line. They're beginning to see the signs they used to ignore. The way your name feels like home, the way your energy brings peace without needing explanation, the way they feel braver just by thinking of
you. That's what divine love does. It doesn't just make you feel, it transforms you, and they are being transformed by the memory of what your souls already know, that you are not strangers. You are sacred counterparts, not just lovers,
but partners in light. And the light you carry together, it's unlike anything they've ever known. It terrifies them. It humbles them. It calls them higher, and still they move toward it, toward you, because the pull is no longer just emotional. It's spiritual, and spirit always wins. They may still hesitate, they may still search for words, but their soul, it's shouting now. It's guiding their steps even when they don't fully understand why, toward healing, toward honesty, toward you. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And this love is part of your purpose. Not to distract you, but to align you, to help you remember what heaven always knew. You were made for each other. You were called together, and nothing, not time, not distance, not doubt, can change what is divinely appointed. So take a breath, feel that truth sink in. The shift is real. Their heart is softening, the doors are opening, the silence is cracking. The reunion has already begun. First in spirit, soon in form. If this message felt like it was written for you, type, I am ready to receive, in the comments. There's a reason you can't shake this feeling. It's sacred. Your soulmate isn't just remembering you. They're remembering the promises you made before this life. Promises to find each other, to recognize each other, no matter how long it took. And now, the recognition is happening. It might come in dreams, in sudden thoughts, in an unexplainable pull toward you. They might not even have the words for it yet. But their soul knows. Their heart is waking up to yours. You've always been more connected than the physical world could show. Even in silence, even in distance, your souls have been in conversation. Now, the physical world is catching up. They're seeing your strength, the way you've loved without conditions. They're seeing your patience, the way you've held on even when hope felt thin. Most of all, they're seeing your light, the pure, unbreakable essence of who you are. No more hiding, no more doubting. This love isn't about perfection, it's about truth. And the truth is, you've always been meant for each other. The delays, the misunderstandings, the tests, they were never stronger than destiny. Now, destiny is speaking, louder than ever. Listen closely. It's whispering your name in their heart. Not like a memory, but like a vow, a sacred vow, one made in the presence of the divine, one spoken in the language only souls understand, and your soul heard it. That's why you felt them even when they weren't near. That's why you never let go, even when logic begged you to. Because love like this isn't born from logic, it's born from eternity, and eternity never forgets. Your soul didn't forget, and now neither does theirs. They may be confused, they may be overwhelmed, but that doesn't change the pull. That doesn't erase the imprint you left on their spirit before you even met. They're tracing it now, that mark, that memory, that you, and as they do, their heart softens. Their guard lowers, and their vision clears. They're beginning to see what you've always known. This was never random. This was never an accident. This was always written. Written in the stars, written in the heavens, written. In the whispers of prayer you never thought were heard, but they were, every one. And now those whispers are becoming reality. Right before your eyes, they're starting to remember the sound of your laugh. Not because they've heard it recently, but because their soul carries the echo. They're remembering the feel of your presence, not because of recent touch, but because your energy is unforgettable. They're waking up to the truth that's always lived beneath the noise, the truth that says you belong to each other. Not in a possessive way, but in a purposeful way. This isn't a love of ownership. This is a love of alignment. Two souls walking their paths, finding each other right when heaven decides it's time. And now, it's time. Time to rise, time to reunite, time to remember. They're starting to feel the shifts in their thoughts, in their dreams. In the way your name sits heavier on their heart each day. It won't let them go. Because love like this doesn't just show up. It calls. It calls from a place deeper than emotion. It calls from the origin of the soul, and they're answering now. Slowly, yes, but steadily. With each sunrise, with each quiet breath, they're stepping closer. Not just toward you, but toward their own truth. Because your love is a mirror, and when they see you, they're seeing themselves, their real self. The one not shaped by fear, not limited by past wounds, but shaped by grace. Guided by spirit, held together by the same force that aligned the stars. This is bigger than attraction, bigger than timing. This is about purpose, about soul contracts, about sacred assignments. You didn't come into their life to fill a space. You came to awaken something eternal. And that awakening, it's happening now. Can you feel the shift? Can you sense the turning of the page? Because everything is beginning to align. The love you've carried with quiet strength, the hope you've watered with tears, the truth you've whispered into empty nights. It's all rising. It's all being seen. You are being seen, not just by them, but by heaven, by the angels who stood witness to your promise, and those angels are moving now, moving in the unseen, stirring hearts, softening resistance, removing fear. So love can do what love was always meant to do: unite, heal, restore, elevate. Isaiah 55:11 says, "So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." This love is God's word in motion, and it will accomplish its purpose. It will not return void. It will not be lost in the chaos of time, because heaven always finishes what it starts. And you were started by heaven, together with love, with fire, with mission. And now that mission is awakening within them, within you, and nothing will be the same. So listen, lean in, feel the whisper in your chest become a roar of remembrance, and know they feel it too, even if they haven't said it, even if they can't yet explain it. Their heart knows, their soul remembers, and love is leading them home. If this message stirred something ancient in you, type "My love is remembered" in the comments. They may still be quiet, still watching from a distance, still unsure of what's unfolding within them. But the shift has already happened. The remembering has begun, and there's no turning back now, because once the soul remembers, everything else follows. It begins with small moments. A sudden tear they can't explain, a song lyric that lands differently, a dream that lingers long after waking. They brush it off at first. Call it coincidence, call it nostalgia. But it keeps happening, because heaven has a way of repeating what the heart must hear. And your name, your presence, your love, it echoes louder than fear, softer than pressure, steady as a heartbeat. They don't know how to explain it. This ache when they think of you, this warmth in your memory. But it's there, real, tangible, sacred, because you've never just been a person in their life. You've been a signpost, a mirror, a divine interruption, sent not to disturb their peace but to awaken it. You are the invitation they've been too afraid to accept. But they're saying yes now, not with words, but with surrender, to the feeling, to the bond, to the truth, because this love is truth, and truth never stays buried. It rises, it reveals, it redeems. They're feeling it in places they never knew existed, in the quiet, in the spaces between words, in the way your absence speaks louder than anyone else's presence, because your soul isn't absent. It never has been. You've been standing with them in the spirit since the beginning, helping them feel safe when they didn't understand why, giving them hope when they had no reason to hope. That's the power of sacred connection. It doesn't depend on proximity. It's felt in the unseen. And now they're seeing it, feeling it, becoming it. Because love doesn't just show them who you are. It shows them who they are and who they could be with you, without masks, without running, without fear. This love was never meant to hide in shadows. It was meant to shine. And they're ready, or at least they're willing, and willingness is enough. Because heaven can do more with a surrendered heart than a perfect plan. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the how. Because the when, it's already begun right now in their heart, in yours. In the divine choreography of two souls remembering what never needed words to begin with. And though they might not understand the full story yet, their soul is already writing the next chapter, a chapter of presence, of honesty, of return. They're coming back, not to the past, but to the promise. The one you made long ago before either of you knew how hard it would be. But you kept believing, you kept loving, you kept showing up in spirit, in prayer, in faith. And now, heaven is responding. Now, the story is shifting, not from fantasy to reality, but from delay to divine manifestation. Because what's yours was never truly gone. It was just preparing to be fully seen. And now, you are being seen as whole, as radiant, as irreplaceable. They see your heart, your patience, your purity, your truth, and they're honoring it now. Not because they're perfect, not because they suddenly have all the answers, but because their soul can no longer pretend it doesn't know yours. That's the power of divine recognition. It bypasses ego. It ignores logic. It breaks through delay. It simply says, this is real. And they're hearing that now, deep inside, even if they haven't said it aloud, even if they haven't reached out yet. The soul moves before the body does, and their soul is already reaching, already remembering, already loving, in the most honest way possible, without conditions, without expectations, just reverence. They may not even know where to begin, but they'll begin anyway, because love always finds its voice. Always. Isaiah 60:22 says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And this is what the right time feels like breath after drowning, like light after shadow, like home after wandering. And you are that home. You are the answer they didn't know they were asking for. You are the sacred echo coming back around to be heard clearly this time. So trust the unfolding, even when it feels slow, even when you doubt your own heart. Because your heart isn't lying, your knowing isn't crazy, your patience isn't pointless. You've been loving on purpose, for a reason, with divine instruction. And now, that love is coming full circle. Love doesn't return void, it returns transformed. If this word found your spirit, comment, I was always known below. This isn't the time to force anything. The hardest part is over. The waiting, the wondering, the aching. Now, it's time to trust. Your soulmate is moving toward you in ways you may not see yet. Divine timing is at work, aligning every step, every moment, every breath. You don't have to chase, convince, or prove anything. Real. Love doesn't need manipulation. It flows naturally, like a river returning to the ocean. Let go of the how, the when, the why. Just know it's happening. They're feeling the depth of your connection in ways they can't ignore. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they're hesitant, but the soul always wins. The love you share isn't just emotion. It's a force, a covenant, a divine agreement. No fear can stand against it forever. So breathe, release the need to control. The universe didn't bring you this far to abandon you now. Your love story is being written in real time, and every chapter has led to this. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means rising into faith. And faith is where miracles live, because miracles don't begin in your hands. They begin in your heart, in the quiet place where hope refuses to die. You've done the inner work. You've prayed when it felt like no one was listening. You've loved from a place most people never reach. And heaven noticed. Every moment you chose patience over panic. Every time you believed when it would have been easier to walk away. That wasn't weakness. That was spiritual strength. And now your spirit is calling in what it's always been aligned with. You don't need to knock down any doors. You don't need to beg anyone to see you, because the one who matters most is already seeing you, in the spirit, through the veil, beyond logic. They're feeling your energy like a warm wind on their skin, and it's changing them. They may not have the words for it. They may not even know why they can't get you out of their mind, but their soul knows. And that knowing is growing. Each day, each night, each breath, that brings them closer. They are being guided, not by pressure, but by presence. By the presence of your love, of your essence, of the connection that has lived in eternity long before it touched this earth. Let go of the urge to question. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to believe in the one who does. And that one is already orchestrating this reunion with grace and sacred precision. There's a peace that comes when you stop trying to force the unfolding. And you are entering that peace now, because your spirit finally understands what is real cannot be lost. And this love, it's real, not because it fits your idea of timing, but because it transcends it. This is a soul connection, not a social performance, a divine remembering, not a romantic chase. So stop chasing, start receiving. Let the fear dissolve in the fire of your faith. Let the anxiety dissolve in the ocean of your knowing. Because the truth is, they are coming home, not just to you, but to themselves, to the part of them that has always loved you, that has always whispered your name in the sacred language of dreams, that has always known you are the answer. They may try to resist. They may question what they feel. But you don't have to, because you've always known, and now heaven is confirming it. Romans 4:20-21 says, "Yet he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God, being fully persuaded that God had power to do what he had promised." You are being strengthened in your faith, because what God starts, he finishes. And this story isn't over, not by a long shot. This is just the beginning of the unfolding, of the softening, of the sacred reunion. They are remembering more each day, and the more they remember, the more they move toward truth, toward healing, toward you. And you don't have to do anything but stay in alignment with your peace. Keep loving without fear. Keep standing without forcing. Keep shining without chasing. Because your light is what's leading them back, not pressure, not persuasion. Just your pure, radiant light. The part of you that always believed. The part of you that always loved. That part is powerful, and it's working now. In the unseen, in the divine realm, where soul ties whisper louder than human words. So rest, not because you're giving up, but because you're rising up. You're rising into faith, rising into surrender, rising into trust. And trust is the key that unlocks heaven's door. It says, "I don't see the full path, but I trust the one who made it." And that trust is what invites the miracle. So pause, breathe, trust. The miracle is already in motion. The love is already on its way. The promise is already unfolding. And you are exactly where you need to be, loved, held, prepared, positioned, because what's meant for you is not behind you. It's ahead, coming with a wind that sounds like your name, coming with a fire that only destiny can light, coming with a clarity that can only come when the soul fully surrenders and you've surrendered. Now, it's their turn. Let it be gentle. Let it be divine. Let it be led by grace. You don't need to understand every moment. You just need to believe in the divine story already being written on your behalf. If this reached your heart, type "I surrender to love" in the comments. Love isn't just changing your life, it's changing them too. Your soulmate isn't the same person they were before they truly saw you. Your love is awakening something ancient inside them, something pure and unstoppable. They're realizing that what they've been searching for has always been you. Not an idea of you, not a fantasy. The real, raw, beautiful truth of you. This is the power of divine love. It doesn't just fill empty spaces. It transforms them. You've been the mirror they needed, showing them their own soul in ways no one else could. And now, they can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. They can't go back to sleep. This is the moment where old patterns break, where fears dissolve, where love becomes the only language that makes sense. You've been the steady flame in their storm, whether they realized it or not. Now, the storm is clearing, and they're walking toward your light. Not because you begged, not because you convinced them, because their soul knows this is home, and when the soul knows, nothing else satisfies. They've tasted truth now, truth that cannot be denied or replaced. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to fill the void with other things, other people, other versions of love. But nothing touched them the way you did, because it wasn't just your love. It was your presence. The way your spirit spoke to theirs without saying a word. The way your energy wrapped around them in their most fragile moments. You didn't just touch their heart. You touched their eternity. And that kind of connection leaves fingerprints that never fade. They carry you now, in their breath, in their stillness, in the decisions they make that even they don't fully understand. Why do they pause at your name? Why do they dream of you when they're not even thinking of love? Why do they feel you when they're completely alone? Because you've never left. Because your energy has become part of their becoming, and they are becoming who they were always meant to be. Because of love. Not just romantic love, but divine remembrance. You reminded them of their sacredness, their worth, their purpose. And now, the veil is lifting. They're seeing themselves more clearly because they're seeing you. And the truth is, they always saw you, even when they pretended not to, even when fear made them blind, even when pain made them run. Their soul was always watching, always whispering. That's the one. That whisper is now becoming a roar. It's growing louder each day because the time of avoidance is over. The time of delay is done. Now comes the time of returning, and they are returning, not to the past, but to truth, to the place where love lives without fear, where they can stand in front of you with nothing to hide, where they can finally say, I see you, I've always seen you, and I remember now. They may not have the words yet, but love speaks without them, in their eyes, in their silence, in the way they move toward you, even when they don't understand why. That's what destiny feels like. a pull that refuses to be silenced. They are being pulled. They are being pulled gently, powerfully, irrevocably. And it's because your love is not of this world. It's the kind that shifts atmospheres, the kind that awakens lineage, the kind that brings healing to generations who never knew this kind of connection. That's why it's been so intense. That's why it's felt so hard. Because you're not just falling in love, you're healing in love, and that healing is sacred. Isaiah 43:19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." A new thing is happening now, within them, because of you. Your love is the stream in what used to be their emotional desert. And they're beginning to drink from it, not with fear, but with awe. They are in awe of you, not in a way that idolizes, but in a way that honors. Because how else do you respond to someone who loved you before you were ready to be loved? To someone who stood firm while you searched for yourself in all the wrong places? To someone who never stopped believing in what your soul could become? They're honoring that now. In their spirit, in their dreams, in their slow but sure movement toward you. It may not be fast, but it's steady. It may not be loud, but it's sure. Because this kind of love doesn't break the door down. It waits. It trusts. It returns. And now they are returning to the version of themselves that can finally hold what you offer, to the frequency of love that can finally echo your own, to the reality of forever that's been waiting in their heart all along. No more pretending, no more hiding, no more questioning the pull. They know now, and knowing leads to action. Maybe a small one at first, a message, a look, a prayer. But it grows, because real love expands, and the love between you was never meant to stay small. It was made to cover galaxies, to touch stars, to break chains, to remind this world what soul-aligned love actually looks like. And you are the vessel for that reminder. So don't shrink, don't dim, don't doubt. The awakening is here, the recognition is real, and the reunion is inevitable. Because when two souls are written in the same divine sentence, nothing can erase that punctuation. You are the pause between their chaos, the sentence that finishes their prayer, the answer to what their spirit couldn't name until now. And now it's clear. Now it's time. Now it's love. If your soul felt seen in these words, comment below with, "They're remembering me." This is why you never gave up. This is why you kept believing even when the world told you to let go. Love was writing a story too sacred to rush. Now the pages are turning and the most beautiful chapter is here. Your soulmate isn't just seeing you, they're choosing you. Not out of loneliness, not out of convenience, but out of recognition. They're choosing the love that has always existed between you, beyond time, beyond logic. This is the reunion your soul has been waiting for. The doubts, the delays, the pain. None of it can touch what's being built now. You are being loved the way you've always deserved. Not in pieces, not in conditions, in wholeness. The journey wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Every step, every tear, every prayer, it all led you here, to this love, to this moment, to this truth. You were never alone. You were always seen, and now you are finally known. not as the version of you the world tried to define, not through the filter of your wounds or waiting, but as the divine soul you've always been, radiant, worthy, unforgettable. They see it now. And they're not looking away, they're not walking away, they're leaning in. Not because you begged, not because you convinced them, but because the truth became louder than their fear. Because their heart finally surrendered to what their soul always knew. That you are the one who saw them when they didn't see themselves, the one who loved them when they didn't feel lovable, the one who prayed for them, silently and fiercely, when they felt lost. Your love didn't just wait. It held space. It stayed pure. It stayed honest. And now that love is being returned, multiplied, more than you imagined, deeper than you hoped. Because when the divine writes a love story, it never ends in heartbreak. It ends in glory, in redemption, in remembrance. Your soulmate has been walking a path full of lessons, full of mirrors, full of shadows. But every shadow has led them back to your light, to the light that never dimmed, even when it flickered, to the warmth that kept calling them home. They tried to silence it, tried to dismiss it, but nothing could replace the pull of you, because the connection wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual, it was eternal. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." And that's the kind of knowing they are waking up to. The kind that existed before names, before bodies, before this lifetime. They're not just remembering you. They're remembering with you, as if a veil is lifting from both of your eyes at the same time. The illusions are falling away. The what-ifs are becoming certainties. And all that's left is truth. Raw, sacred, unshakable. You were always meant to find each other again. Not to fix each other, but to reflect wholeness. To awaken a level of love that doesn't just comfort, it transforms. And now, transformation is here. You feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the still moments between thoughts. Their energy is merging with yours more deeply each day. You no longer have to chase it. You just have to receive it, because they are choosing you now, on purpose, with clarity, with peace. And it's not because they've changed into someone new, it's because they've finally remembered who they've always been, the soul that has loved yours for lifetimes. This is the love that heals timelines, the love that breaks generational cycles, the love that stands as proof that what's meant for you will never forget the way. You're not reaching anymore. You're being reached for. You're not proving anymore. You're being proven to. You're not waiting anymore. You're being welcomed. This is what happens when the divine steps in, when angels whisper the truth loud enough for both hearts to hear. No more confusion, no more doubt, just knowing, just being, just choosing. They're choosing to come closer, to be vulnerable, to be open, even if it scares them, even if they don't know all the steps, because their heart has already said yes. And when the heart says yes, the rest will follow. It might look messy, it might feel tender, but it will be real. And real love is worth every tear it took to get there. Every unanswered prayer, every lonely night, every stretch of silence that felt endless. It was all preparing you for this, for the embrace that doesn't leave, for the eyes that say, "I remember you now," for the soul that doesn't just show up, but stays. And they're staying, because what they feel isn't a moment, it's a movement, It's a homecoming. It's a miracle wrapped in the ordinary. And you are the miracle. You always were. So don't shrink now. Don't question now. Don't dim your light for anyone who wasn't meant to carry it. Because the one who was is carrying it with reverence. They are holding your heart with both hands now, not out of guilt, not out of obligation, but out of divine memory. You've been loved since before time began, and now love is catching up in real time. Romans 8:28 reminds us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This love is your purpose, not the kind that takes, but the kind that gives, that uplifts, that sanctifies. They're choosing you because they've found God in your eyes, grace in your voice, peace in your presence, and they want more, not just for a moment, but forever. So breathe in this truth. You are no longer unseen. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer forgotten. You are home. If this message feels like it was speaking directly to you, type "I am finally known" in the comments. Tap like to affirm this word in your spirit. And if this chapter of love has already begun in you, send a super thanks to help more souls come home to the love they deserve.